My definition of being God fearing is knowing that God is judging every second of your day. And let me say that again. My definition of being God fearing is knowing and believing that God is judging every second of your day. You know, the thing about this walk behind Christ is letting go of that people pleasing spirit. And I wrestle with that word all the time. But not too long ago, I heard this guy preach a sermon on people pleasing, and it kind of makes sense to me now. It's like you only supposed to please God, not others, not what others think about you, not what others think about what you're doing, but if everything you're doing is it pleasing to God. And that was people pleasing is to me as a Christian, as a Christ follower, as a faithful believer, you know. And you know, this one word that just stuck in my memory is from my meeting at my job is having good intent. You know, you want people to have good intent for you, but that should be vice versa too. You should have good intent for other people. You know, once someone become a believer, get baptized, get the Holy Spirit within them, why look at their past of who they used to be? And so many of us do it. So many of us, me personally, I don't really do it. I used to do it, and I used to do it when I was younger. And that's the reason why I don't no longer do it. And the reason why I used to do it because people always failed. But now that I got older, I know that we is not perfect. Nobody is perfect. We're gonna fail. We're gonna fail over and over again. And one main reason why I did it while I was younger is because of my mom too. Like every time she gets sober, you know, she haven't never been sober for 2 years. She made it past a year before. So when it was past a year, I was like, oh, shocked. But going on 2 years, it'd be like, you know, she fell. And to her dying day, you know, she never got sober. But as I get older and as I experience life of my own, and as I fail and fail and fail and fail, I realize, and that's why God probably do that to me, because I realize that nobody is perfect. We're gonna fail, but it's all about getting back up again. That's what it's all about doing. No matter how many times you fail, no matter if you fail until you're 99 years old, it's all about getting back up again and getting back up again, because you know what? Everybody's journey is different. All of our journey is different. And this journey that we have is unique and tailored to us. Things that you may like, I may not like, and vice versa. You know, I remember when I was younger, it seemed like the adults had a roadmap to our life, and that's what made a lot of us straight away. A lot of stories you can hear across this internet from millions of people. Oh, my parents wanted me to do this. I didn't want to do that. Oh, this and oh, that. And that made us straight away and become or do or run away or be that prodigal son we are. A lot of things that they were saying was absolutely true, but we still have our own personal journey. We still have our own personal our own personal kingdom to create, our own personal chapter, our own personal testament. You know, like I said, I don't regret Nothing. I probably regret probably one thing or two things. You know, one thing I do regret, and I said this over again, is treating my grandparents badly when I became a teenager. And I did it because I didn't understand. You know, when you're young, you don't understand much. You think you've grown. And I tell my kid this all the time because he's a young man now. You think you're grown, but being 19 is just the beginning. You got a long road ahead of you to understand life. And that's why I tell him to read his Bible. And I tell him about the Bible app and everything I tell y'all. Plus more. It's because I wish I would have read it sooner. I would have never acted the way I acted if I did. Yeah, I know they give us these little childhood stories, and those stories are really like dumbed down. Not dumbed down, but it's for kids. Like Noah's Ark, like Jesus in the manger. Yeah, they made it kids, but they should have put a little bit more truth in it too. But yeah, but I mean, being God-fearing is not pleasing people. It's pleasing God. Do what's right for you. I don't care. You know, people think this fruit, a lot of people think, not everybody, I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people think fruit is materials. You know, fruit is just heaven. I feel like the main fruit for me is that peace. It's that peace, it's that love, it's that patience. Stuff you cannot buy. Because with all of that, you can be in any situation. You can be in peace at the top of the mountain. You can be at peace at the bottom. And I saw it. I saw this. Without that, come on. You don't know God. And I'm not saying that to be offensive, but I'm saying that because it's true. And yes, you're going to be frustrated. Yes, you're going to mourn. The Bible, you say you're going to do all of that. But you have to still be like Job. Job went through all of that stuff. Yeah, he was upset. He was moaning, he was crying, everything, but he still kept the faith. After his friends told him all this crazy stuff, after his wife said curse God, he still kept the faith. And that's what we should do. We should be like Job. You know, Job is a great example. Jesus is a great example. But, you know, to walk behind Jesus, I feel like, and I guess that's why that's in the New Testament and Job is in the Old Testament. I feel like Jesus' walk is when you mature in your faith. Like, Job walk is that beginning. Like, when I read that Job and how God was like, Job is my, I know Job is not going to turn on me. I know Job got my back. Who could you say that? The only person I could say that is my grandma. My grandma had all of our backs to the fullest no matter what. God have all our backs to the fullest no matter what. But I'm talking about on this earth, I would say my grandma. You know? Hopefully I get a husband that'll have my back like that. Period. And I hope my kid too. But it feels good out here. And I did I did 130 minutes on the treadmill and the other 30 minutes walking, and I thank God for that. I did it. Now I'm finna get in the shower and start my day. Give me a little bit of something. Just start my day. Yes.